be on YouTube again and be live. It certainly has been a while. Let us know what the audio sounds like and if the video looks okay. It's always a bit nerve-wracking going live. It's all working fine. So I can see a few of you watching already. Hello. And yeah, let us know what the audio is like. And let me know how you are. Leave us a comment so I can see you hearing me and see it's working and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it'd be great to hear from you guys. So more and more of you going in, so bear with me. Yeah, so I haven't been on Petrol Lee. Audio is good. Good to hear, Lee. No one likes bad audio. It's good to know it's working good. So yeah, any of you that have been following along probably noticed I haven't posted a video in a year pretty well. I haven't done a project video in a long while, and I'm sorry about that. I know you guys love the videos. Bit of fluff. And yeah, I started a new business about a year ago, and I've just been absolutely flat out with that, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because I really do miss making my YouTube videos. We need another Bandit series, yes. So I've got a few plans, got a few ideas about what's going to be happening, a few changes, a few interesting things. So hang about, and I'll tell you all about those. So yeah, I'll go through it. Obviously, I think the first thing I'm going to say is I hope everyone's keeping well and hope everyone's doing okay. It's been a crazy couple of years, loads going on with various different things. So I just hope everyone's safe and well. And yeah, it's certainly been an interesting time. So yeah, I've started a new business. Again, an interesting time to start a new business, but it's been going really well. I'm really happy with how it's going. I should have probably updated you a bit sooner than this and kept you in the loop a little bit, but I've just had so much going on my mind. And yeah, it's been taking up most of my time. So when I make the videos, probably takes me around 8 hours to film a sort of episode, whether it's sort of 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. It's about 8 hours. And then editing wise, probably takes me another 8 to 10 hours to edit a video. So it's a two sort of solid days of work for me to do this. And there's a few times where I've been doing 6 and 7 day weeks and stuff like that. So it's really not been possible. So, but I think I've got everything settled now, and I'm pretty sure I can dedicate a couple of days a week now to making YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And from some of the comments I can see flashing up, I'll if I can get them to come up. There we go. Yeah, you seem excited as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's a few things happening, changing. A bit of news, I guess. So obviously, I haven't done a Bandit O'Clock video for a little while. I kind of got that finished and painted and ready for summer. I think it was the last one, Series 3. And I've been riding it. When we had the lockdowns, the first lockdown and that, I didn't ride it at all because like anyone's not really sure what was going on. And then like the second lockdown and stuff, and people understood what was happening a little bit more. I decided to ride it a little bit, and then when the lockdowns got eased, I decided to make the most of it and go for a couple of long rides. So I ride with a couple of lads. I've got BMW GS's, Cake and Nick, if you're watching, and yeah, we did like a couple of like 400-mile days. And last year I did a 540-mile long trip on the Bandit. I drove from Cambridgeshire to North Devon via Cheddar Gorge and stuff like that, and Porlock Hill. And yeah, it was a long day, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Picked a cream tea up for my mum and my nan, and got my dad, Bill, who he's doing well. Got him it's not a Cornish pasty, but I got him a pasty, and he was really happy with that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I've been riding a Bandit a lot. Haven't really done anything to it. The only thing I have changed is the seat. I've actually got a genuine Corbin seat. I managed to get it off a very kind man in Scotland who didn't want to post it, but he did post it for me in the end, which is really cool. The standard recovered seat I had from Lucky 7. It's comfortable, it's great doing a couple 100 miles in a day, 250 miles. It was all right, but when it started doing like 400 miles in a day, it was starting to get a bit uncomfortable. So I had a Corbin seat on a Bandit 1200 probably 10 or 15 years ago now, and yeah, it was super comfy. So I managed to find one that's all black. It really fits in well with the bike, and it's super comfortable. I put it on for the 540-mile trip, and yeah, I didn't even feel like I'd done that sort of mileage. So yeah, really happy with that. The turbo bike is exactly the same as it looked when I did the last video when I was doing the exhaust system. That's as far as I've got with it. I've not touched it. I've not done any work to it, which is really bad on my part. I was really hoping to have been riding it by now. But these things do happen. Like I say, with a new business and stuff, I've not had the time to work on it and make the YouTube videos. I've not had the chance to do either or the time to do either. So, but I really want to get that going, and I'm really looking forward to riding a turbo bike. So that's probably going to be my next sort of project. Now, the turbo project's going to change slightly, and there's probably going to be a new series of It's Bandit O'Clock, but I'll explain more about that in a moment, because of another change, which is like, I've kind of been waiting a bit because I was expecting this to maybe happen. Sorry about the buzzer. Yeah, I was expecting something to happen, or there was a chance of something happening, but lots of things had to fall into place for it to work. So I didn't want to go ahead with one thing and then it didn't work out, and then I had to change things and bits and bobs like that. So basically, I'm getting a brand new motorbike. I've ordered a Suzuki GSX S1000 GT. I don't know if any of you keep up to date with the modern bikes that come out, but they announced it in September last year, I think it was, and you could order one from November. And I was really excited by it. I don't get excited by new bikes very often, as you can tell. Classic Motorbikes.net channel, I prefer the older stuff with carbs and bits and bobs. But this bike really did sort of tickle me fancy. I really did like the look of it. To me, this new Suzuki GT is a bit like a Bandit 1200S. A Bandit 1200 is an old GSXR 1100 engine that's been, retuned, as they say these days, for torque and for, touring and stuff like that. It's not all about top-end power, in a cheaper frame with cheaper suspension and stuff like that. Whereas this new Suzuki GT, or GSX S1000 GT, it needs a shorter name. We'll just call it the GT, shall we? That is a GSXR 1000 K5 engine, in a cheaper frame with cheaper suspension and cheaper brakes and bits and bobs like that. Suzuki might not be happy with me saying that, but that's kind of what it is. So, to me, it's like a modern day Bandit 1200, although it's only 1,000, but it's a modern day Bandit to me. I like the look of it. Not from every angle, but it's not a bad looking bike. I love some of the equipment it's got on it, like the up and down quick shifter, and you can change the maps, and the TFT screen that you can use as a sat nav, I think's incredible. I don't think any other manufacturer's done anything like that, or at least I haven't seen it, but I don't keep up to date with the new bikes, so I could be wrong. Let me know if I am. But yeah, I've got panniers coming with it because, again, I've been doing loads of miles with the guys on the GSs, and we seem to be doing longer trips now as opposed to shorter, back road tearing around sort of stuff. We've all got a bit older, I guess, and a bit more sensible. And we're enjoying our trips. We've got a couple booked. I've got one up north, as such, up Durham way, and then we're going to go to the Lake District and ride about here, there, and everywhere. And then I've got another trip booked to the Isle of Man later in the year as well, which will be pretty cool. It's not for race week or for for the Classic or the Manx, but it's yeah, just a trip to the Isle of Man, so which will be exciting because it's me first time going, and I get to go on my new bike. So I might still take the Bandit, but you know the GT is going to have all the luggage and stuff like that on it, so it's going to be perfect for the job. Now, getting a new Suzuki GT means the It's Bandit o'clock Bandit doesn't need to be like my main road bike. Being a project bike, it was always in bits a lot, and I didn't get a much chance to ride it. Although not doing any projects with it over the past 2 years, I've probably ridden it more than I have done previously, which I've absolutely loved. I've loved putting some miles on it because I wasn't riding it as much as I would have liked to have. So, but now with the GT, that's going to be like my road bike. I'm probably going to shock you now, but I don't think it needs modifying. Apart from maybe a couple of genuine accessories or a tank bag, maybe the touring screen on it, I don't think it needs modifying. The exhaust sounds nice, like I'm not even going to put an aftermarket one on like most people do. The induction roar sounds really good, really good sounding induction roar there. Yeah, I don't see what needs modifying. It just wants using and servicing and looking after, really. So that's kind of going to be like my go-to sort of everyday road bike. I'm not going to use it every day, but if I had to use one every day, it'd be the GT. You know, it's modern. It's got fuel injection. It starts. It's got ABS and all that sort of stuff, which I've never had on a bike before. I've never bought a brand new bike. It's all a bit strange to me, buying something new. But yeah, so that means that It's Bandit o'clock Bandit can be off the road a little bit more. I'm still going to try and keep it on the road because I love riding it and it is very different. But it does mean I can occasionally take it off the road to do stuff to it. So I might change it differently because at the moment it is my road bike. So, you know, I want to keep it as a bit of an all-round bike, but I might go down a different route with it because it's not the bike that I've got to ride on the road every time. You know, I might put a longer swing arm in it. Sorry about that. Or something crazy like that. Now, this brings me on to what's changing with the Turbo project and the It's Bandit o'clock one. So I'm still going to carry on and I'm still going to turbo a Bandit. But it might not be the Turbo Bandit project. It might be that It's Bandit o'clock Bandit. The Turbo Bandit is really clean. It's low mileage. You know, it's pretty original bar the exhaust. I think it's just the exhaust and the handlebars and the grips. But it's super clean and it almost feels a bit of a shame to start, you know, turboing it and, you know, mucking around with it and stuff like that. Because I know, you know, once you start turboing things, you sort of, you go, oh, I'll do it without modifying anything. And then you think, well, if I just modify that a little bit, and then you go down a rabbit hole and you know, you sort of not destroy the bike, but you completely change it and it's never going back to standard. So what I might do is actually do like a light restoration project on that and put it completely back to original. Try and find some parts like an uncut mudguard and some standard handlebars and get some standard grips from Suzuki Vintage Parts, which they do all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, just sort of, you know, clean it up, give it a good clean because it hasn't had a clean since I bought it. But again, it was pretty well looked after anyway. But yeah, I might restore that and then turbo the It's Bandit o'clock bike because I don't mind modifying that. You know, I've changed the front end, which can be swapped back, but you know, if I modified that bike, it's not a problem for me. Like, I don't mind chopping things up or hacking things or, you know, changing things that will never go back to standard. That doesn't bother me with that bike. You know, it's high mileage. It's had loads of owners. You know, I've been playing around with it. I've took it apart God knows how many times now. So yeah, so I might turbo that, and then I might put a long swing arm in it. Might go drag racing with it. Don't know. Might keep the short swing arm in it and do some track days with it. Turn it into more of a track bike with a turbo on. Yeah, and just see how things go. So let me know what you think about that. I know it's all a bit of a big change and a bit of a change around and stuff. For the moment, though, I'm going to keep the Bandit on the road for a little bit, just as the nice weather gets here, and while I'm running in the new GT, which hopefully should be here next week, like middle of April. It should arrive. Fingers crossed, because there's been a bit of a wait for people on them. And I'll still use the Turbo Bandit as a jig. So the next thing I need to do is like the plenum and all the pipe work and stuff like that, and finish the exhaust system off. I can still use that bike to build the turbo kit, but when it comes to firing it up as a turbo, I'll probably take all of it off the turbo bike and put it on the It's Bandit O'Clock Bandit, if that makes sense. So yeah, bit of a change. But I think it's going to work well. The thing I was going to ask all of you guys, I know it's not something, I know most people are here for bandits or, here for more classic sort of bikes. But would you like to see any content about the Suzuki GSX S1000 GT? Is that something that would interest you? Would you like to see maybe some trips I go on, or just, what the ownership's like, how things work on it, with fancy computer screens and all that sort of stuff? Is that something that would interest you? Let me know in the comments, because it is quite a contrast to what I'm doing now. So I don't want to put people off or alienate people, but, I'd also like to say maybe try and move things forward, or not pigeonhole myself as much as I have, because I'd like to sort of keep my horizons broad, and and the people that are viewing, they're all into different things, if that makes sense. I keep saying if that makes sense a lot. If I say it too much, tell me. But yeah, so I want to know how you guys are. I've seen a few comments popping up. I'll see if I can get it to work. Bear with me. Yeah, so I've got some comments. Here we go. I can start going through them. So, yeah, if you've got any comments, guys, got any questions, want to let me know how you're doing. I'd love to hear how you're all getting on, and if you've had any projects or anything at all. Just I'd love to hear from you, and yeah, we can have a bit of a chat up, bit of a catch up. Let's see how we get on. So right, let me scroll through these comments. Bear with me. Don't let me scroll far on this. So, audio is good. Thanks, Petrol Lee. BB Junkie, we need another Bandit series. Definitely. I love that It's Bandit O'Clock one. After riding it for a couple of years, I haven't really touched it since, I got it ready for the road. There are a few little things that need doing. So, the brakes, I'm not that happy with. I've got some GSXR brakes on there that are a bit old, and I'm not sure if I need new pads, or I just need to bleed the system up or whatever, but I'm not that happy with it. The other thing it needs doing is it does need a clutch in it. I'm quite hard on clutches, and I have been known to destroy one or two. But the clutch is slipping a little bit, and it does need replacing. So I'll probably put a genuine one in there, because they seem to last the longest out of all of them. The other thing that needs doing on it is the clutch slave cylinder. I did notice that has started to weep a tiny bit over this winter, so that's something I need to do before I start riding it around, really. What else was it? I probably want to paint it again. I painted it in Simmons Tough paint. Hang on, I've got a can here. I painted it in that stuff. I'm not impressed. It's supposed to be tough. It's anything but tough. There's plenty of scratches and marks and stuff like that on the bike, so I might paint it a colour that's not black. Whether I do it myself again or get Bill to help me, I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to paint it and just try and make it look a bit better. Now it's not going to be, a well-used bike, if that makes sense. So I've got to stop me saying if that makes sense. But yeah, hopefully that explains it. Petrol Lee, I've enjoyed watching your Bandit videos. I bought a Mark 1 last year and done to it. Oh, brilliant stuff, Lee. That's great to hear. Let us know how you're getting on with the project and what you've been doing to it. I'm always curious to hear. Hey, Darren. It's good to hear from you as well, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Jordan, I don't speak that, unfortunately. But hello. Damo, just seen some reviews. Price looks tempting. Yeah, they're not a bad bike. The money that they retail at in the UK is like 12.5 grand if you get the panniers. It's the GT Plus model, I think they call it now. To me, that's a crazy amount of money for a motorcycle. My poster bike is probably something between like a 4X VR1 and like a K1 GSX R1000. They were like my poster bikes as a kid. And brand new, they were like 7 or 8 grand, whereas now a GSXR is like 20 grand or something ridiculous. So, 12 grand seems cheap, but I find it very hard to call £12,500 cheap for a motorbike. But the world's changing, the price of stuff's changing. I guess that is a cheap bike for a brand new one now, and they're fairly, like you say, fairly well spec'd. So, hopefully I'll be able to do a review of my own. I have ridden a demo bike twice, once in the wet, once in the dry. But I've only had limited amount of time with them, so I couldn't really film much video. So I couldn't really do a sort of short review of it. But mine should be here next week. Fingers crossed. So if you're interested, I'll try and do a review. RJ Auto, hello mate. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it has been a long time. It's hopefully you've heard some of the stuff I've said, and it's been a while, but I'm back. How regular I'll be posting videos, I'm not sure. It probably won't be every week at the moment. I'm hoping to get one out in the next month, and then it might be once a month, but then I'm hoping to be able to try and get back to doing one a week or maybe one a fortnight. So, evening, ST. Hello, how are you doing? Steve Adams, good to see you back. Like the idea of swapping Turbo Bandit around. Cool, that's good to know. I was a bit worried how people might take it because it is a bit of a strange change, and they are two separate bikes. But I'm not too invested in the Turbo Bandit because it's just a plain standard Bandit. But like I was saying, I feel that it's a little bit of a shame to mess it around too much, or eventually mess it around too much. So yeah, I watched Bandit o'clock again not long ago for the third time. Wow. I've watched a couple of videos back recently, just to kind of remember what I've actually done and what point I was at. So it's good to hear you've watched them again. Hopefully you liked them as much as you did the first and the second time. I'm going to absolutely butcher your name. I do apologise. Macy J. Lewowski. Hi. Finished the Turbo Bandit first and shared some drawing specs info about the parts made and bought so it could be used as a kind of manual on how to supercharge the Bandit. Many thanks. Yeah, with the video I've been talking through the parts I've been doing. There's not a lot to it, to be fair, with the turbo stuff. You got turbo, a fuel pump, fuel pressure regulator, a blow-off valve, and some oil pipes and bits and bobs. It's not too much. A lot of it is making your own set of headers, making your own exhaust pipe, making your own plenum and bits and bobs like that. But as I go through the project, I will talk about it and stuff like that. I'm not really doing it from drawings or plans as such. I'm just kind of like almost making it up as I go along, but from research I've done. So, but yeah, I'll try and include as much information as I can for you. James, loved all your Bandit videos. Got a Rattly 03 during the pandemic. Great fun. Ratty, not Rattly, sorry. Yeah, I love the Bandits. I much prefer the Mark 1s. I know, some people say the Mark 2s are better, some say the Mark 1s are better, but the Mark 2s are good. I think they're a good cruising bike, but the good fun hooligan one is definitely the Mark 1. But I'm glad you got yourself a Bandit, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. So Other than a Bandit, any recommendations for a cheap project bike? I was thinking possibly a Hornet 600. Yeah, Hornet 600s are good bikes. I almost bought one as a first bike, but I had a Bandit 600. And I think that's what's sent me down the path of riding Bandits and riding Suzukis and stuff like that. I kind of got stuck in with them, learnt what they were like and how interchangeable they are. I love how you can swap most of the 1200 stuff onto a 600 and bits and bobs like that, and even GSX-R 1100 stuff. So that's what I love. But Hornets are great bikes. You don't tend to get much go wrong with them, but they are getting a bit older now, so probably need some maintenance. I'm not sure what the parts availability is like for the Hornets because they are getting a bit older now, like maybe genuine parts if you need genuine only bits for certain items, and how much they cost. I'm not really sure on that, but I really like the Hornets. They're fairly simple, but obviously they are water cooled, so there's a bit more stuff to do with them and look at and bits and bobs. But yeah, great bikes, and yeah, not too much to them. They're quite simple. A friend of mine had one when we both had our first bikes. He had a Hornet and I had a Bandit, so I did do quite a bit of work on his, to be fair. So good to see you back. Hope you're well. Thanks, Paul Monday. It's good to hear from you as well. I can't wait to keep pumping the videos out and doing stuff like that. Yeah, okay, this is a bit of a random comment then. Your hockey team are winning 1-4 at the end of the second in the quarterfinals. You may have a first trip involving for your new bike. Brilliant. Yeah, so obviously I generally just talk about bikes on here. I don't go into my private life too much. I like to keep it private, private life. But I do play ice hockey. I think I've mentioned that before. My garage is currently full of ice hockey kit because it's the end of the hockey season. And yeah, so if the team I used to play for wins today, they go to the playoff finals, which is in Bristol next weekend. So you never know, I might be riding my bike to Bristol. Petrol E, I've already started gathering the bits to turbo my Bandit as I turboed my 2005 ZX-10. Can't beat having a turbo bike. My old man had a Mark 1 band 1200 turbo that he made. That was my first turbo bike I rode. Awesome. It's good to hear someone else doing a Bandit turbo. There's a lot of them. Since I started this project, they were getting more and more common, but the amount of turbo Bandits I see on the road and, on the Facebook groups and stuff like that is pretty incredible, really. But I think it's a good thing, it's something different, but it's becoming more mainstream and, certainly easier to achieve. When I first started riding, like the only way you got a turbo was if you went to big CC and it cost loads of money, I mean, not that much money, but, it's a fair amount. It almost felt unachievable. Whereas now, like a TIG welder, when I first see turbo bikes was like $5,000 for a TIG welder, whereas you can buy one for 500 quid now, so yeah, it's quite interesting with stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad to hear your turbo and a Bandit, and yeah, keep us updated on how yours goes and how you get on with it. So yeah, always interesting to hear someone else that's building one. So I was going to give you a bit of a tour around the garage, but there's not really a lot to show you. Bear with me just a minute. I'll see if I can. How do you flip the screen around? This is a bit different. So bear with me. There we go. Right, so that's quite a tucked in view. So yeah, I'm currently sat on a mobility scooter. We've had a family member move in with us, so she's brought her stuff in. So she's got 2 mobility scooters, which are taking up loads of room. I've got hockey kit. I've got my bandsaw. Got the welder. Got my goalie kit. I play in goal sometimes when I'm playing hockey, so that takes up loads of room. I've got more hockey kit. The old Bandit o'clock. Bandit sat there looking mucky. It really does need a wash. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this, but I didn't wash it when I got back from the trip to Devon last year, which I know is a massive sin. So really I need to give this thing some love and yeah, give it a clean up. And then around here, I've got my helmets, And we've got Bill's bike. Bill's got a TRX. I would take the cover off, but there's loads of boxes around it and stuff. Bill's actually restored a TRX 850 in the last year, which he's thoroughly enjoyed, and he's finished, and he's just waiting for the good weather here to ride it. And then you got Bill's Bandit hiding under the cover as well. And then, the Turbo Bandit looks exactly the same as it did last year. A bit sorry for itself. But, there it is. So I do need to crack on with that, get it finished, get going, and, hopefully have a go at it. So, I don't want to show off much that way. Bear with me. There we go. I'm back. So, got the Bandit o'clock tank, which I got for a present, which is awesome. I do like that thing. It's pretty cool. So yeah. So thanks, guys. If you've got any more questions or want to say hello or anything at all, just let me know. But I think I've covered everything. Is there anything else? No, I think that covers it. The Bandit o'clock Bandit does need some work. Like I say, clutch is the main one. Brakes, clutch slave cylinder. Probably needs a pair of tyres on it fairly soon. Hello, the Archery channel. Good to see you watching. I've got an interesting thing. So, obviously, I make YouTube videos, which involves making videos, but I quite like making videos anyway. It's sort of a bit of an interest as much as the bikes are. And I may be looking at making a camera rig out of the Bandit. So, sorry about that. Possibly looking at making that into or a camera rig for it, for something a bit different. So that's something else that'll be a bit of a project that I'll take you along for the ride for, hopefully. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's about it. Needs a good clean, needs a pair of tyres, or it will do soon. It will do by the end of this year, definitely. Needs a clean. I definitely need to clean that. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I didn't clean it last year and the state I've left it in, but and then the engine, I definitely need to do the cam change. So I needed to do that probably 4 years ago, when I put the manual cam change tensioner in. It definitely needs a cam change. So I'm probably next winter, or the winter coming up, even if I haven't started turbo in it, I'm probably going to pull the engine out and just rip the whole thing apart. I know I did some gearbox stuff to it, but I left the top end well alone. Whereas this time, I think I'm just going to take the whole thing apart, hopefully go through the engine and measure stuff, just to see if, everything's within tolerance and as it should be. It'd be interesting to know, because it's done 55,000 miles, and just see if anything needs replacing. Obviously, I know the cam chain needs replacing, but it'd be good to just see if the engine's in spec, like rings and bits and bobs like that. So, and then that engine, I'll probably build as a turbo engine. So there's lots of different options you can have. You can just run spacer plates, or you can run second-hand Hayabusa pistons, or you can get brand new like billet pistons and stuff like that. I think because it's going to be a turbo bike, and it'll be a turbo bike for a long time, I'm just going to build that as a turbo engine, or so it's suitable for being turboed. But that'll probably be in the winter time, when it's a bit colder outside and there's no riding to be done. So there we go. So right, I've been rambling a little bit. Let's see more comments. Stephen Hammond, good to see you back. Thank you, Stephen. Good to see you there. Thank you for the comment. I've rebuilt the gearbox on my Bandit 1200 thanks to your videos. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. It's good to hear someone's took something from the videos and how they go themselves. I try and include as much information in my videos as I can, where I can. If I know enough about it, I'll always try and say stuff. Some of the stuff I do is new to me, so I can't really explain it because I'm not that sure myself, but I'll try and show you as much as I can. yeah, I'm glad you've watched the videos and felt confident enough to do it yourself, which is pretty good. So yeah, they're pretty. I've said this a few times. They're pretty simple to work on, the bandits. You don't need a load of expensive tools and stuff like that. So yeah. How's the insurance on a turbo bandit? So I haven't actually had a quote, which is probably a bad thing. But from being in a couple of groups on Facebook that people just ride turbo bikes, it's not far off of what a standard bandit is. I know everyone's insurance is completely different. For me, to insure a bandit for a year is about £100, which some people go, I can't believe how cheap that is. Bill's insurance is even cheaper, which has always frustrated me. But then he's of an age where it's probably going to be cheaper. But yeah, it's from what I've seen, it's probably double. So it's probably £200 to insure it, which to me, insuring a nearly 200 horsepower Bandit turbo for £200 is pretty good. The insurance on the new GT is considerably more. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How insurance works, but I won't get into all of that because it frustrates me sometimes. So Stuart, what's the new business you've set up? So it is motorcycle related, and I'm actually transporting motorcycles. The company name's Moto All. I think I showed you on the thing. There we go, Moto All. That's my little logo. Yeah, so I'm actually transporting motorcycles. I've done it before when I was younger, bits and bobs like that. So yeah, it's a fairly full-time thing. I'm always driving, so you can't always answer calls and messages when you're driving. Obviously, you can't. So when I stop, finally in the evening, I've normally got loads of messages to go through and emails to send and all that sort of stuff. So it takes a fair amount of the day up. So, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Obviously, I love bikes. You can probably tell that hopefully through the videos and stuff. I get to meet lots of interesting people with interesting bikes and get to talk about them. So yeah, it's almost. I wouldn't say it's not like working, but you know what I mean. If you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Is the old saying. So it's a bit like that really. So yeah, right. RJ Auto, yes, brother. Good to see you. I've been off the road for 2 years myself. A lot of back problems and my knees now gone altogether. Oh no, so I'm not riding much anymore. I've got a bobber now and I love it. Awesome. Sorry to hear about your back and your knees. I kind of know how you feel. I've got bad sciatica. I've had it on and off for years. The last few years haven't been too bad, but since I've started playing ice hockey again, it's back with a vengeance. It's been absolutely killing me this week. It's been terrible. But yeah, so I can sympathise with you a little bit. But yeah, fingers crossed the bobber's okay for you, and fingers crossed it doesn't get any worse and gets better for you. So I hope it all works out. Nothing better than doing a job you love. Yeah, exactly that. It's like beats doing an office. I did do an office job once for like 6 months. I can't sit in an office all day. Yeah, and I get to work in and around motorcycles. I get to meet interesting people, and I get to drive around. Luckily, if you don't like driving, it's definitely not the job for you because there's a lot of driving involved. But you get to go to interesting places, see interesting stuff, and occasionally you get to stop at the seaside for fish and chips. Not all the time, but every now and again, it just works out right that you can have a nice fish and chip lunch or dinner. So awesome. Joshua Ford, love your videos, mate. Helped me massively. That's good to hear, Josh. Or Joshua, sorry, if I shortened your name. Yeah, it's good to hear they've helped you. I don't do them as sort of how-to guides or anything like that. But yeah, I'm glad you've enjoyed them and glad it's given you the confidence to have a go yourself. So awesome stuff. Right, it's been nearly 40 minutes. I can't believe you guys have been listening to me ramble on for 40 minutes. So I'm going to call it an evening. Got work tomorrow. Got an early start, so yeah, I'm probably going to see how the hockey team got on, and then get an early night, I think. So thanks for watching, guys. It's good to see some familiar names and stuff like that in the comments. It's good to see you still there and still watching, and you're doing okay. So yeah, until next time, guys, we'll see you later.